Today, my spiritual tip is how you can create a physical detoxing kit in your home. I think it is so important that we all get galvanized to action so that we can vigorously and enthusiastically step up into our soul's highest mission. But in order to do that, I think all systems have to be a go. And that means our physical systems as well. If the physical systems are all clear of like toxins and parasites and anything that our physical body might have picked up that are really not healthy or they're not conducive for us to activate our highest gifts, then we're not going to be able to do what we came here to do. And all of the meditation in the world and all of the soul clearing, jade cell clearing, draconian implant clearing will not help us if we haven't done some basic things to detox the organs in the body. Our skin is one of the biggest organs in our body, and it's so important that we take good care of our skin, but all of the body. So I wanted to just give you some tips on a way that you can put together a spiritual, physical detox kit. And I think some good things to have on hand in your bathroom, but not necessarily in your bathroom, because there are some people that have to do their detoxing, like with a foot bath. A bathtub is really going to be best, but there are options if you don't have a big bathtub. Some people don't. A lot of people these days, they just have like a shower, and for whatever reason they don't use the bathtub. But it's good to have that option. If you don't have a bathtub, you can put together a foot bath. There are several different ways that you can do this. They have some really nice ones that you can buy. Some of them even have like a little foot massage as you're detoxing, but others can just use like a big bowl or a big pan. So there's so many options in that area. Another thing that you can do, and I think this is a really good option if it's a warm time of year. In a colder time of year, it might not be the best. But while it's warm, take advantage of it, is to just use like a kiddie pool, like one of those big plastic kiddie pools or a small plastic kiddie pool. And they also have some really good tubs at Tractor Supply that are like horse water troughs. And so you can get like 100-gallon, 200, and a 200 would be plenty. Actually, a 100-gallon would be plenty big. But these are very sturdy. And the good point about an outdoor spiritual, physical detoxing bath area is that they're easier to clean up, because some of the products that you want to use in your detoxing, they're sticky, and there's some of them that you really don't want to go down the drain because they can clog up your plumbing. So that is one good reason to have an outdoor resource, and you can wear your swimsuit if you want to, but I think it's a great plan. I really like to do that because I just think it's nice to sit outside and watch the horses and the dogs and the cats play and be surrounded with all of the beautiful plants. And for me, that is a really relaxing option that I like. And just kind of think back to the days of, I think it was the $1 Million Man, or no, it was one of those shows with Lee Majors where he was like a repo man, I think, and he would go home at night and he had this little outdoor bathtub. And so I guess being a stunt man or a repo man was like, really hard on the body. So he would soak every night. And I always thought his little outdoor setup was just the coolest thing. I think it was set in California, but it was just so nice. And to me, it makes sense. But soaking in a tub of water is one of the most beneficial healing things that we can do. Not just on your physical level to detox the body, but to kind of soothe the senses and help you to relax. I have had some very powerful meditations and powerful spiritual experiences in a tub of water because it's so elemental. And one thing that I feel is super important to do when you're doing a detox bath in any way, whether it's in the bathtub, a foot bath, or outside, is to ask that the essence of the element of water, that it activate fully its healing properties on your behalf and for your highest soul good. When we create that intention, it just kind of gives like a burst of energy to the element of water. And I feel like the elementals, like the undines would be the elementals in the water spirit, that they love to be acknowledged. And they also, I think, respond to direction. And I feel like it's a part of our birthright of coming to planet Earth that we understand that we're creators and we are determiners. And it's super important to know that we need to step into our power and be responsible for what we create. So when you command the waters from your I am presence, it's like you're singing the song of the Holy Spirit. They're looking down and going, yes, you are. And so you just get more value from the whole experience. Like you got more engagement, and that is important all by itself. There are quite a few ingredients that you could use, and there's some that are better for different things. But I feel like if you could create a little bathroom apothecary, I would bring in Epsom salts is one of my very favorite to bring on. This is helps to pull out impurities, and it's really good if you are detoxing through your lifestyle, through your diet. Like if you're doing like a parasite cleanse, it's like one thing to kill parasites, but it's another thing to get them like evicted from your body. It's not as easy as it sounds. So combining some of your apothecary for your bathroom, the different things you put in there can really help. So Epsom salt is really good when you have a lot of die-off of parasites in your body, because it's not comfortable. So if you've ever done a lifestyle diet detox, you know what I'm talking about. It's not pretty, it's not comfortable, but it has to be done in order for us to get to the other side. Epsom salts also, it's a form of magnesium, which has so many benefits that it's just crazy. But definitely have a bag of Epsom salts in your bathroom. Other ingredients that you can put into your bath water are baking soda. Baking soda is super good for skin situations, like for instance, eczema or anything that is itchy. Baking soda is really good for, and I feel like it's good for like sunburned skin too. So remember, our skin is our biggest organ, and we want to kind of figure out how we can baby it and really take good care of it, because it adds to the whole. Like the health of our skin and the organs that it surrounds and all of the systems, like if the more that we can take care of them and help them to release impurities, help them to detox like heavy metals, parasites, things that aren't good for us, the better off we are. Another thing that you can use are mineral salts. There's a lot of different kinds of salts, and one that I have used for a very long time is Redmond's Real Salt. I love that salt so much. It has just the best flavor, so you can use it on the table in your cooking, but also in your detoxing. And there's several other brands. Celtic Gold is one of them that's really good, and there's a Oceana salt. These are super expensive, so I would probably use the Redmonds, although I think the Celtic Gold is probably better. So if you're in a really serious physical situation, then you want to invest in your healing ingredients, and this would be, either one. Like Redmond is really good, but if you have some serious stuff going on, then you might think about like the Celtic Gold. And that brings me to mind that you want to consult your physical doctor before you do things like this, just to make sure, if you do have something serious going on, that these things will be complementary to your whole healing paradigm. Apple cider is a super good ingredient too. I'm going to get a drink of water here. Hold on. Apple cider is a really nice ingredient to have in your bathroom. It's good for general detoxing. It is not recommended for if you have like eczema or itchy skin. It's probably going to sting. And it's also a really good one for your hair. Like if you're washing your hair in your clearing bath, the apple cider will be good for that. But it is a nice one to soak in if you just want to do a general detox. And I feel like it's really good for sore muscles. Let me tell you, folks, I used to train in Taekwondo, and also I rodeoed for a long time. So anything that is comforting to achy bones, to bruises, to clearing and detoxing, I've done it, and I've had a lot of relief from it, and I want you to have the same. Baking soda is a good ingredient to put into your bathtub, and I'm going to give you some ideas for the amount to put in here in a second, but I wanted to give you just a handful of ingredients. As an aside, I would not use all of these all at the same time, but there's some combinations that do really work well together. Bentonite clay is one that you can add to all of your detox baths, no matter what you're putting in. 1 teaspoon of this bentonite clay acts as a drawing agent, and it's sort of along the ideas of magnetics, in that it just pulls out of your skin icky stuff. A lot of ladies use like a facial mask that is made out of clay, and it's the same principle, is that it pulls out toxic substances. So it is fabulous. It's also super messy, and that's one of the big benefits of having a little outdoor pool, when you feel like you need to really load up on icky ingredients to do your clearing and do your detoxing. Seaweed is a super good ingredient to bathe with. Think about the oceans and just having all of this luxurious seaweed plants that you're floating around. It is amazingly therapeutic. I feel like all of the plants have properties that we can use for one area or a knot. And seaweed is one that we can use to help detox our body. All right, let me see if I'm forgetting. Oh, vitamin C tablets. This is one ingredient that you can use with any other combination, and it's super useful to remove the chlorine in your water. It's best if you can take a bath without chlorine, like if you can filter the chlorine out. And that's kind of one of the good reasons to do an outdoor clearing bath, detoxing bath, is that you can fill up your pool and let it sit for a while, and the water will evaporate the chlorine and any fluoride, like by itself, usually. Or it's easier for me to use a filter outside. Like I use an outside water filter for my horses and anything I water outside. So I can fill up my outside bathtub easier with filtered clean water than I can my inside water. So anyhow, whatever works for you. But vitamin C is just, you can buy the little tablets and just throw one in your bathtub, your bath water, with a teaspoon of the bentonite clay, and then whichever other ingredient just kind of resonates to you. For me, I am most of the time going to use an Epsom salt or a mineral salt, but there are times where I use baking soda because I'm an outdoor girl. I have a lot of things go on outside, like if you get stung by ants or a wasp or even mosquitoes, that's whenever you want to throw in the baking soda. But you know what? You can make a list of the ingredients and just kind of meditate over your options and just get a feel for which one you feel the most activated about right now. You could use your pendulum, you could use your dowsing rods, but you can also just use your own intuition about what feels best right now. Okay, another thing that you could add to your bath is a little filter that goes over your spout of your bathtub, and it's just like this little ball, and it has filtration in it so that you can run your bath water and run it, and it drops down below your faucet, and as the water runs into the bathtub, it has to go through the ball filter and comes out cleaner for us, and cleaner is good. It is it's kind of a win-win if we can use clean water and some good clean ingredients to create a bathing experience. It is more desirable. It would still be therapeutic and healing if you did your bath in a bathtub full of even unfiltered water, but still adding some of these ingredients in there. As far as amounts of each ingredient, when you're starting a detox program, I would probably just start with just a couple of these ingredients and keep a kind of a bit of a diary about how you feel during your bath, how you feel after, and if you notice anything in particular, good or bad, it's like keep a little bit of a diary. And I would do that for a few weeks to see if you're actually getting some benefit from it. But I like to start with like a tablespoon of your Epsom salts, and then a teaspoon of the bentonite clay, and then one of your vitamin C tablets, and use warm water. It's more desirable to use warmer water, like to the point of hot, but you really need to work your way up to doing that and letting your body sort of calibrate to a really warm bath. And it does take a while, so don't do that too fast. Like, you don't want to overwhelm your system, because it's like our body can go into a really high detox mode, and it's usually not comfortable if we do it that way. That would look like possibly diarrhea, and maybe it might look like we're really sick, like with the flu, when really we're just detoxing and all of the organs are saying, get out of here, and you've got to go. And always remember that when we are kicking something out, that we need to be mindful that the universe doesn't tolerate a void, and we need to replenish our body, and we want to replenish it with ingredients that are wholesome, that are clean, that are vibrant, that are totally a win-win for our body, or we're not making any progress. So number one is hydrating with clean, pure water after we do a detox bath. And you might even have a little glass of water while you're actually in the bathtub. That can be like a warm water would be even better. And that brings me to mind another option, and this is even a better option if you have access to it. There are a lot of areas on planet Earth's grid that contain healing springs and healing waters and oceans and even rivers and creeks. And I feel like that planet Earth was very well designed. She has been, in my opinion, jacked with and distorted, but she has so many areas of natural healing springs, healing waters, healing bodies of lakes and oceans. So if you live by a nice river or a beautiful lake or the ocean or like Hot Springs, Arkansas, or any of the springs, make it your business to take those in, because they're like God's medicine kit. Like when we came down, that was one of our coupons. Like, don't forget the springs. Don't forget the natural healing properties and detoxing properties of this huge oceans and these amazing lakes and amazing bodies of water. They're super powerful. I have been to a few of the baths in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and in Colorado, and those are just the most amazing therapeutic, feel-good experiences that I've ever had. I can't recommend them enough. And definitely when you're thinking about like planning an outing with your friends or with your husband or something, take in the hot baths or the springs or natural bodies of water. This can be a super important part of your detoxing paradigm. When you're starting with your the amounts of your ingredients, I would start with like a tablespoon, and then over a few weeks, I would build up to like a cup of whichever ingredient, like a full cup of Epsom salts or baking soda or whichever one that you choose. And eventually, if you can work your way up to 2 full cups of the ingredient, you're ready to experience, and your body will really be able to draw and use those supplements and use that ingredient and just help you to pull out whatever is in your system. one of the big benefits of detoxing physically is that if you are on a mission to lose weight, to get healthier, to get stronger, then if the fat cells in your